Subtract my age from the mileage on my speeding heart. Credit cards, accelerate, accumulate. Looked for you downtown, wound up in a movie with no story. Now it's late and you are nowhere to be found. Hesitation's always mine. Hesitate outside the times. With all I don't say, with all I don't do, I'm sending you invitations to hesitate to. Every 10-year-old enemy soldier thinks falling bombs are shooting stars sometimes, but she doesn't make wishes on them. When she wishes for less ways to wish for, more ways to work toward it. 10-year-old enemy soldier, our falling bombs are her shooting stars. Hesitation's always mine. Hesitate outside the times. Oh, call me or drop me a line. Say you've been with me. Say
Come follow, follow me. Be so sweet, my rose red. It was a long time ago. Midnight night and full of pure. I've left no trace, try and find me. I'm cocksure. A girl in a bike rag, flutter past to the floor. So let's beat, beat, beat until they want some more.
Welcome to the YellBRo. I am Jordan, and tonight I'm going to go over a particular tweet I sent out a couple days ago that got ratioed like a motherfucker. I might also talk about some other stuff. Hopefully that shit ain't playing right now. Whatever. But first, please consider donating to Devon's Journey to Recovery. The GoFundMe link is down there in the description box. That's right, down there on the ground somewhere. Now, in the description box, click that link. Read the story. Please donate some money. Help someone out. It does not go to us. It goes to one of our subscribers and his wife, Devon. So please help them out by donating. Devon's Journey to Recovery. Before I get started, I want to apologize for my shirt. I'm half deity, so I glow like this sometimes. So I apologize. Or it's the green screen. Could be that too. But, alright. A couple days ago, I put out a tweet, with the whole Trump rally in North Carolina. And I said this. LOL, Trump is afraid of Bernie, so he makes shit up about Bernie and tells him not to run. Ha 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 ha. Trump literally has no counter argument to Bernie Sanders. If they debate, watch Trump crumble. And, I put this video out with it.
Bernie Sanders' total government takeover of healthcare. Isn't that nice? This is one of the great it won't happen. He knows that. The guy never passed a bill. He did nothing. He's actually not even a Democrat. Isn't he an independent? I don't know. He's running, but wish him. He missed his time. Hey, Bernie, let me save you a lot of time and effort, Bernie. You missed your time. It got taken from you 4 years ago, Bernie. Not doing too well. He's not doing too well, but that's okay. You got to hand it to him. He's up there ranting and raving and going like a lunatic. I said to our First Lady the other day, I was watching Bernie, and he's screaming, his hair's all crazy. And he's, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. No more college loans, no more costs for anything, nothing. You're not going to pay for anything. I mean, he's desperate now. He's desperate. You don't have to pay for anything.
Yeah. Now, if you've been paying attention to any type of policy or politics or politicians, you'll see why that was just a nothing burger, as they say. Just Trump looking for catchphrases to say about Bernie Sanders that his loyal followers will use on repeat over and over again with no substance to it, no nuance, he just wants to give free stuff away, blah, 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 blah. He's a socialist. We'll never have socialism here. It's like, healthcare and things like that. Look, propaganda, you made it. You're famous now. So I'm just going to look for some of the highest liked tweets and sort of go over them because they're fucking hilarious. Propaganda says, what a compliment. Democrats are shit. Crazy Bernie. Look at Trump's hair. Yeah. That's savage comb over. Jordan Allen says, getting ratioed isn't hard to do with the wide swath of bot farms that all the corporate whores use. Yeah, I mean, part of me thinks if they're just fucking bots, another part of me is like, Jesus. Like, I really think you guys, because a lot of them were responding, and it's just trash shit. Just non-arguments, ignorant statements that have no idea about policy at all. Very weird. Propaganda. Buddy who works for my brother is so like these fucks in the comments. It's all about that end game. Fuck, I need this over here. So this is like majority of what I was getting. Once again, I'm just looking for the most liked ones. This one says, you have no idea about the end game. Hashtag go Trump or cry. And it's a Photoshop job. Once again, not saying anything. See, propaganda responds. Probably wrecks him. Yeah, and that's exactly what I was saying. If you look at propaganda's tweet, this is the same kind of garbage the HRC idiots tweet. You should just become a Democrat and support the Republican Party 100%. For now, you think they are two different parties. You are being had, just like a child. And I 100% agree with that. These guys want Trump more than they want Bernie Sanders. And definitely more than they want a Tulsi Gabbard. And definitely more than they want a Mike Gravel. So, yeah, these remind me of Hillbots, man. These guys just basically adopted their shit. Don't let them overwhelm you. That is their goal. I responded to basically everyone. Every one of them. I tried. When you look at it, it says like 700 comments. Half of those are probably mine. Some are propagandas. And there's some other Bernie people. Some blue check mark jumped in here. It was like I guess an ex-pro boxer under it with Floyd Mayweather promotions. Let's see, this one got 128 likes. From someone named Be Happy Ill. Sanders failed to earn a living, even as an adult. It took him 40 years to collect his first steady paycheck, and it was a government check. Only worked for government and now a multimillionaire. Think about that. Well, I thought about it, for about a couple minutes, because it didn't take long. Like, he did write that book. That made him a lot of money. I would consider, being an activist and working on things, I consider that a job. I don't think how much money you make or whatever dictates how hard you're working. That's for no offense, that's for 60, 70-year-olds. I think if you're not getting paid a large amount of money, you're not working so hard. Unless it's pure brute labor work. They'll give you credit for that shit. Propaganda says, I think these are the best America has to offer. Just like George Carlin. Laugh out loud. Bernie isn't smart enough to win. Trump is illiterate. Bernie is a fucking millionaire and had hundreds of thousands before that. Mayor pays better than that fuck. Isn't it interesting? Isn't it amazing how this old communist asshole has become wealthy using this very system that he hates? Yeah, I don't think he hates the system. I think he's trying to fight the people that abuse the system. The billionaires who pay their workers very shitty rates. Compared to what they're making. It's like, hey, Bezos, just make $1 billion less than you already do. Maybe distribute that shit. But, that takes heart and a conscience. I don't know how much these guys have that. Think about that, Jordan. Alright, what's this one? Bernie Sanders runs on platform of policies he can't even provide for his staffers. Raise the wage. So now he will reduce their hours so it is $15 an hour. A guy who has been in government for decades doing nothing. We will never be a socialist nation. So yeah, just repeating talking points, repeating things they've heard Trump say. He didn't even have a job. Whoa. That shit will not work in an hour and a half to 2 hour discussion. Period. Like actual adults will be watching that shit. I'm just saying. And people will, if they're working, well, first of all, the TV schedule is probably going to have it so that majority of people are not working as the debate's happening. But then there's going to be people who pay less attention to work and focus on the fucking debate. And then they're going to talk to each other about it after the debate. So you're going to have you're going to have a full audience listening to this shit, watching Trump get wrecked on national TV because he has no policy rebuttals for Bernie Sanders, other than we don't want to be socialists. If he brings up Venezuela, he's fucked. That is a dead end route for Trump. Maybe if he didn't attempt a coup in South America or in Venezuela, like if he didn't do that, maybe he'd have an argument. But it's too late for that, man. You are already a part of a coup attempt. Let's see. Propaganda. The buddy that works for my brother told me Bernie made people to work less hours in his campaign. He will believe anything and just fuck up how it was originally told on Fox News. I didn't look too deeply into the Bernie paying his workers because I didn't give a shit, to be honest with you. I mean, that's worth noting for sure, but that doesn't kill the policy that would regulate himself, right? Wouldn't that regulate himself? Just like increasing taxes in the higher, in the higher tax brackets, increasing how much they're taking when he becomes a millionaire. I mean, you're going to kill the guy for regulating himself. Whoever this is, Jefferson Carlisle, I guess. Free shit isn't much of a platform to run on. Hashtag Crazy Bernie is in over his head. Yeah, it's just repeating what Trump said. Of course, you'll notice the ones that are getting all the likes aren't actual arguments. They're just toting Trump's talking points about Bernie Sanders, which don't go far with real people at all. And you got to remember, a lot of Obama people voted for Trump this time around. Why? Well, because of how obviously corrupt Hillary Clinton was. And they were tired of the same old shit. They thought Trump would shake things up. And I guess he has, as far as rhetoric and the way it looks and the mask sitting on the guy. Like, oh, this is different. Just like Obama was different with the mask because he talked, different than George Bush. He spoke more. He spoke more sophisticated. He spoke more sophisticatedly, So it's like, oh, he's much more intelligent, and he'll be a good president. Trump's like, oh, Trump's just an average guy who's like the rest of us. All a facade, guys. The important things stay the same. It's like, oh, Trump's not for Medicare for all. Neither was Obama. Neither would Hillary be. Definitely not George Bush. Fuck no with Bill Clinton. Fuck no with Bush Sr. And on it goes. Saying the same policy in different ways. Or saying different policies that are slightly different from one another. Little tweaks here and there. Propaganda. It was a union deal and some mole in the campaign wants less hours and a schedule. It's a fucking 24/7 campaign. I mean, I'll look more into it, but I didn't need to research it to put down this bullshit that I'm seeing here on Twitter. Alright, here's another tweet that got a lot of likes. You could put all 30 Democrats. Hopefully you guys can see this shit. Make that bigger. Let's do that. Oh, that was the wrong one. Fuck. There we go. There we go. That should be better. This one from Brad Allen Wilson. You could put all 30 Democrats running for president on stage against Trump. He would crush them one at a time. Almost tired of winning. Almost. I guess that's Trump derangement syndrome is real. 2020 is going to be epic. Yeah, you guys are living off the past with that shit. Trump derangement syndrome. I probably didn't start talking about Trump till like lately. Because it's getting around election season. It is election season, really, when you think about it. So he's starting to campaign, and I'm seeing all the flaws with this motherfucker. I mean, I already saw the flaws, but now it's like, this is like political strategy flaws that you can just see blatantly. And it's like, who Trump can hang with and who can't he hang with. He cannot hang with Bernie Sanders in a one-on-one discussion for several nights over an hour and a half. It's like, that's not happening. There's not enough for him to say. Trump will have to rely on the fucking moderator, who probably doesn't want Bernie to win either. Let's be real. Propaganda. It's Tulsi's time. What I was talking about has nothing to say about Tulsi. I told him to look up Pimplegate, and he was blown away. I swear Buddy is a mole. He is making a scene when Bernie is the only union campaign that pays $15 an hour. The mole wants 20 an hour and less hours. Possibly. I'm sure when you have, was like over 1 million volunteers, you're going to have some sketchy people come along as well. Wouldn't be surprised if there's some agent provocateurs hanging out. Alright, let's read this one. Yeah, meh. He'd crush them all at the same time, considering they are all stepping on each other to see who can go the farthest left. I think he means furthest. Trump only has to beat one crazy platform. Biden may be the exception, but the Dems will be sure to destroy him before these primaries are over. Yeah, they'll probably destroy Biden. Biden's destroyed himself. He's done for. But once again, this person doesn't know that these guys have different policies. There's like some generic guys that are there, but then there's like Bernie and Mayor Pete are two different political figures, way different policy, if you ask me. Similarities on some things, but I think they're completely different. Same with Kamala Harris and Bernie. I mean, if you look at it, it's like Bernie and Tulsi, and I guess you could throw a Gravel in there, are going to hover around each other. Warren, I think Elizabeth Warren's like probably right in the middle between Kamala Harris and like Bernie Sanders. Mayor Pete is right next to Kamala Harris. And let's see. I forgot Yang and Marianne Williamson. They're probably like a tier below Tulsi and Bernie. But yeah, all these policies, a lot of these policies are much different. Like people who pay attention know when someone's dog whistling to get brownie points for Medicare for all, but also not actually take the position of Medicare for all. They know how to say it without, actually advocating for the policy. I support Medicare for all in 30 years. It's like, what? I support Medicare for all. But we can't just go right to it. We need to keep the private insurance companies around long enough, and then they'll start going away. I'll pander to them. I'll take their money. Propaganda. It's people like us that came up with Trump derangement syndrome. Then the MSM right ran with it. People just waiting to call Bernie a sexist. Warren is trash. I hope she gets her emails leaked. If Warren got her emails leaked, it'd happen right as she won the nomination. They'd be like, oh, we can't have her. Let's put Biden in there. He's number one in the polls anyways. Let's put Biden in. Random laughing guy. Let's see. Bernie won't even come close to the nominee. 25 other candidates have the same platform, and they aren't even old white men. Sorry, Bernie. Back to the breadline. Yeah. I'd say people recognize that Bernie was doing this first, as in the whole 2016 thing happened. Every time Trump brings up that Bernie got screwed over by Hillary, every time Trump supporters bring up Bernie got screwed by Hillary, you are boosting his platform and his policies. So there you go. And they can tell the difference between Kamala Harris and Bernie Sanders, Cory Booker and Bernie Sanders. Blah, blah, blah. Bernie won't even win the nomination. I leave that as a possibility. I'll give him room for that. But that doesn't change my argument of Bernie would wreck Trump in a one-on-one debate. I don't even think it'd be close. Here's this one from Deplorable Andrew. If we were living in 1950, Bernie would be beaten to death for his worldview. I'm not saying this to be hateful. Anyone who even resembled a communist in 1950 was imprisoned. Back in the old days, Americans understood economics. Capitalism keeps the USA alive. Socialism is evil. Once again, non-arguments. Oh, you'd get beat up if it was, back in 1925. When women couldn't vote and shit like that. Back before, the Civil Rights Act and, black people were considered lower, less human. They would have beat Bernie up for that. It's like, okay. Is there anything bad going on in that time period that, might question the judgment of the mass population? I don't know. Let's see if I find any more popular ones. Here's one. No counter argument to Bernie Sanders. Say what? Whatever that hashtag is. The entire Trump presidency is a counter argument to Bernie Sanders in every respect. That's completely wrong. It's a counter argument to the traditional old guard neoliberals like Hillary Clinton and Barack Obama. And Bill Clinton, for that matter. It's the fuck you to those guys. Right? Because Trump brings up Bernie got screwed over. Obama was a socialist. It's like, stop it. Yeah. Advocating the Red Scare. See, I was hoping some of these guys would actually jump in here and get wrecked. But you might be afraid. You might be scared. Let's see. Keep dreaming. Bernie won't make the cut. He is done. Okay. Let's see. Keep dreaming. That's what they said. You super duper wish Bernie could destroy Trump, the all great and powerful Trump, who's making America great and keeping it great. Same time. Like how what good has he done? Well, go to Trump2020.com. He made the economy better. He gave us jobs. He's arresting the pedophiles. He's building that wall. You wait for it. It's coming someday. It'll be here. There's a guy Propaganda was arguing with. Joel Brown from America and Israel simultaneously. Somehow. Propaganda says the same dumb fucks caught up in Russiagate. Yeah, I know. I know. Maddie says, when will these dopes that millions of people donated to Bernie at the start of his campaign done? Or, yeah, done? No, that's numbers, you know. No one wants to hear those. Nobody wants to hear campaign donations being, breaking records and shit without any corporate money. No one wants to hear that. They don't want to hear, a lot of these Trump voters were Obama voters. They don't want to hear that. Some dude on here called me a Nazi because I brought up Israel. Brought it up once. He's making up statistics about, because I said, isn't it like socialism when we start, basically funding other people's armies and shit? Isn't that like socialism? Using taxpayer dollars to fund some sort of social program, in this case, the military of other countries. And he said, oh, blah, 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 Iran, blah, 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 Iraq. And I was like, first of all, we don't even fucking, I don't think we give any money to fucking Iran. Not like that. In fact, we sanction the shit out of them. But I said, oh, you forgot Israel and Saudi Arabia. Oh, there it goes, another Jew hater. Fucking Nazi, man. So here's another one saying, he will never get the nomination, so no debate. Okay, but that's not the question I was really bringing up. I was bringing up if they debated, Bernie would wreck that motherfucker. Here's a corny joke. I'll just read it out loud. Yup, it looks like you've long since reached the land of Oz. Get it? It's a play on words because our name is Yellow Brick Road. And Oz is the city, the magical city in that story and movie. And it's like a fantasy thing that Dorothy wakes up from. Or was it real? We don't know. It's a mystery. The point is, he got me. He nailed me on that one. Pause. This guy's actually funny. Because I was like, I bet you can't argue your points. Straight up. He says, don't look cool. I am cool. And can argue my points with anyone. However, I avoid arguing with liberals, the intellectual equivalent of clubbing baby seals. I said, I'm not a liberal, so what now? He says, I wouldn't admit it either. It's like, damn, you are a Trump fan. I see the debates going. Mr. President, how are my policies socialism? How am I advocating for all-out socialism? Because you'd go to jail. Yeah. Like, that shit ain't working this time. That shit is not working this time. Alright. Hey, here's one. Venezuela and Cuba and the failed socialism throughout history is real Donald Trump's counter arguments. I'm like, I just want to give all these guys, like, if I was filthy rich, I'd just buy them hours and hours of like videos and downloads and DVDs and shit to watch, documentaries on U.S. intervention in these countries. I'm sure it's free on YouTube, whatever. Point is, they won't watch it anyways. At least I don't think they will. I sent a link out to I believe it was Max Blumenthal at the UN talking about Venezuela, and the guy responded in like minutes. I'm like, dude, that video's like 40 minutes long. How are you coming back to me already talking shit? It's like, fuck, man. There's no fucking honesty with these people. All right, let me read some of these. Maddie says, when the wall is erect, that's when we'll find the WMDs. The WMDs. Might be too clever for me. Propaganda. When I press that Trump fan When I press that Trump fan that works for my bro, he always says he doesn't support any politician. We pay the Anna in Afghanistan to fight our fights. Yeah. What is that? The Afghani National Army? I don't fucking know, man. Ah, okay. Yeah, I saw that Israel isn't the country we fund the most. It's Afghanistan. I believe Israel's number 2. Marshall Villager, you should do a review of a Hard Bastard video. I watched Hard Bastard a while. I stopped watching him. I don't know why. But when he was like first coming around, I was watching him. You know, before he showed his face and shit like that. That's all around like that 2016 shit that was happening. Yeah. Propaganda. $4 billion a month to Afghanistan. Yeah. We give them a shitload of money. And it's not in the way we give it to Israel, I don't think. What's up, Ruben Garcia? Says, here I am. $4 billion a month to the ANA in Afghanistan. That's the Afghani National Army, right? I could be wrong, because I've never heard that before. Just what it looks like, you know. Oh, look at that, say. You're smoking crack if you think Bernie could win a debate with Trump. How do you know that? Oh, Trump told me. It's like, damn, you did your research, didn't you? Oh, what's this one? Brian Peterson says, word. And he shows this photo. Nobody working 40 hours a week should have to scrape resin just to get high. I get it. It's a weed joke. I got it. Oh, there's that random boxer guy. Send an @ to Sean King. I like this tweet just to see if I get anything out of it. But hey, say something, man. Plus, it give me a chance to wreck Sean King if he ever says anything. Let's see. And Bernie the nominee? Ha 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 ha. I said, who you got then? Not Bernie. Okay. I was like, okay. It's like, who you got winning then? Not Bernie. It's like, clearly you have someone else if you're saying Bernie won't win. That means you have someone else you favor more. Just on a prediction, not even on a, I like this person over this person. Why not? Have you ever been so racist that you won an Ellis Island Award for patriotism, tolerance, brotherhood, and diversity, alongside Muhammad Ali and Rosa Parks? Okay. I have black friends too. Just saying. So that doesn't mean shit to me, man. You won an award because you're famous. Imagine all the people that did all this groundwork. I'm not putting down Rosa Parks or Muhammad Ali or even Donald Trump. But all these people that laid down groundwork that no one ever hears of. They don't get any rewards or awards. It's like, trophies don't mean shit to me. It's like, Obama's, he's a Nobel Peace Prize winner. Yeah, very peaceful guy. Piece of shit. You told me that before. The question is, did Hitler win a Nobel Prize? It couldn't have been a Peace Prize. Ruben Garcia says, I'm still angry at Jordan Sheridan for siding with the neo-lib fraud gay wonk. He's a hypocrite too, since identity politics helped get him get smeared, then fired. Yeah, I was paying attention to that whole thing. Yeah, that was weird. Tim Black was going off about it. H.A. Goodman. Those guys were like, they were like reveling in Jordan Sheridan's downfall. They're like, yes, here's all the information. We're going to have the girl on. Oh, he was nominated for a Nobel Prize. Apparently, Brent never intended the nomination to be taken seriously. That's called saving face. Let's say what it was for. It was for a Peace Prize. Holy shit. Yeah, I mean, some people hate Crowder enough to where they'll throw away, probably possibly throw away certain values to shit on Crowder. But still no excuse. And I bet that's gonna hurt Sheridan at the end of the day, right? What happens when his content's too controversial? Does he get demonetized or videos blocked and all that shit? So you can do two things at once. Pause. You can shit on Crowder and fight for internet freedom. Or YouTube freedom in this case. Propaganda. Yeah, I don't see Hard Bastard anymore. Alright, I got it right. Afghan National Army. I saw him in my Twitter feed. So, that new HBO show, Watchmen, was like sending tweets at him. I don't even know why. It's like, is this that fucking countercultural marketing where you find guys who are like for real and you start tweeting at them and putting their name out like, see, we're like these guys. See that Bill Hicks right there? We're like him. At Bill Hicks. I don't know how you sleep at night. Where am I at? Ruben Garcia. I brought up Jordan Sheridan because Hard Bastard got brought up. And then I remembered that I wanted to tell you that Nico House was also doing anti-Jordan Sheridan smears like H.A. Pukeman and Stupid Bastard. Yeah. I mean, those guys hated, they probably still do hate TYT. And they found an opening to shit on whoever from TYT. And they're like, look, the SJWs are now, committing the rape or the Me Too movement. They're getting Me Too'd. Propaganda. I smoked some weed oil out of a crack pipe once. Buddy's wife comes downstairs and was like, what the fuck? And yeah, Clinton has awards like that too. Like, yeah, but Trump 2020. Marshall Villager. Jordan is doing great with Status Quo. Yeah, we were watching some of his videos today with when he's interviewing Trump guys on the street. Bubba Ray Dudley. Those dudes, I'm like, oh, this guy has no fucking clue what he's talking about. He's using words the wrong way. That's like usually, that could be a telltale sign sometimes. When they're just like, wait a minute, that word doesn't work there. You've never said this before. You've never thought about it before. So it's like, or you haven't even heard this anywhere before. You're just making up excuses. Now, who's to say? Like, who's to say? They didn't have weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. Yeah, I know. I was gonna say that. the weapon, the WMDs was a lie. What if this video's a lie? Is this real? Come on. So I was like, fuck. Propaganda. Yeah, I feel bad for Jordan. Everyone shit on him. I even bought on to he was ripping TYT off. I feel like shit for that. TYT is fucked. And Status Quo is dope. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was paying attention to it, but I had no judgments on it because I don't know who's telling the truth about what. Like, I got listen to the full fucking details. Like, what was actually happening that night and shit. I'm like, oh, you just a bunch of dirty freaks. But if the girl wasn't down with it, then fuck him for that, and them that are with it, that were with him. But I don't know. My personal reading of it was the girl was possibly like a super fan, and she got caught up too much, and then did some things she didn't want to do, or she didn't. Things she ended up regretting later, and then I don't know. To be honest with you, it just sounded weird hearing her talk about it. I'm like, you sure you weren't a super fan, or like felt like you were banging a celebrity, and then once it ended, like, oh shit, I'm married, or oh shit, I'm engaged, and it's like, fuck, he raped me, Sorry, I have a dark humor. I apologize. Let's see. Propaganda. I say we just stay out of the garbage drama. Let the gay wonk and Buddy look like idiots. That's hard to do because in a way, they could be setting rules for what we do on YouTube for the rest of time, or the rest of the like foreseeable future. If they're their little tissy tussle, whatever that fucking word is, tussle, right? Their little tussle. That just sounds super suspect. I don't know. The little hissy fit they were having. It's like, I don't know. It's like China and the U.S. bickering at each other. Like, oh, I'll sanction you. Well, I'll sanction you. And it's the poor people that suffer. Those guys will be fine. They'll feel a little bit. They'll get like a little mosquito bite of damage. The rest of us are fucking full-on malaria, starving in the streets and shit. You know. Ruben Garcia. To this day, Sheridan is getting accused of being a rapist. He should know better. Hey, who knows? He could have just been a dirty freak. His friends were dirty freaks and thought the girl was a dirty. Did I freeze, guys? Alright. Did I freeze for a second or something? I think I'm back. I'm back, motherfucker. I don't know, my screen says stream complete. I don't know. Anyways, I'll just keep reading these, I guess. I don't even know if I'm live or not. My phone says I'm still gone. Whatever. Isn't Rob Van Dam woke? I hate the label woke, but still. Offline? Why is my phone still going like I'm live? That makes no sense. Guys, put something in the chat if I... Oh, okay, you're good. This is propaganda. Fucking YouTube, man. Fucking with me. It's weird, My dashboard says I'm offline right now. But whatever. Anyways, I'll just keep going. Rob Van Dam. Is he woke? Yeah? I don't know. I haven't looked into it at all. He's not woke enough. Ruben says, I still believe... Oh, there we go. Ruben says, I still believe Sheridan was innocent. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. For me, worst case scenario, if he did something against her will, not like, I don't think he would do that purposely. I think it would be... The freak? Whatever. If something like that happened, I would think he just read the signals wrong. Propaganda. Yeah, the Chelsea girl was the one being slutty and trying to have an orgy. Dirty freaks. Chelsea is always posting slutty ass pics and cheating on her husband. Maybe you should send that link to me at some point. I can investigate how slutty this really is. I can't remember the accuser's name. Like that Chelsea girl wrote a book about cheating on her husband while being an activist on his dime. Alright, thanks for telling me I'm back, guys. Propaganda. You are all G, Jordan. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know your Canadian language like that. If it's American, it's probably from like 20 years ago, so I might not remember that. You guys do steal our culture. You're only a couple decades behind, but you're catching up. Ruben Garcia, I heard you bring up Bubba Ray Dudley, and I remember seeing some video about Rob Van Dam talking about 9/11 and the real reason we went to war in Iraq. That happened? Okay. A video headline. I didn't watch it. Sorry if that's not what the video was really about. Apparently James has seen it. And it's for real? Okay. Okay. Oh, shit. Oh, propaganda. Tell me, what was the TYT video you were talking about? That they smeared Tulsi again? Calling her a flip-flopper? We couldn't find it. You steal our shit and make it your theme song. I told you they're American. Metric is ours now. You guys can keep Jim Carrey. Alrighty then. That's yours. That's all yours. That's all your shit. The mask, that's all yours. Alright, okay. Imagine being that Chelsea girl's husband. Yeah, that sucks. They gotta have a long, long discussion. Oh, she works for the Rebel Headquarters channel? Really? Apparently all that shit got her a job. Wasn't she just like almost like an intern or something when she was working with Sheridan? Now she has a full job or something. Getting fucking messages. All right. Yeah, I guess I can read this. J.P. Lloyd said, POTUS can say whatever he wants. He is now a candidate for re-election. His opponents are all fair game. He has been found to be correct on all accusations. He has been right on all suggested misdeeds, legalese and opponents' accusations, POTUS will be re-elected in 2020, in my opinion. Okay. 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 Type that in for me, dude. Rebel HQ. Emma is full-time at TYT now. Yeah, probably pays good. She was a Tulsi fangirl when she was famous for Standing Rock. Tulsi Gabbard's Puerto Rico flip-flop. Well, Nico's gonna go after her. I'm sure about that. It's like, guys, just debate already. Call it a day. Alright, I'm tired of reading these fucking fanboy things. Let's go into something a little more controversial. This. Let's see. Oh, gotta fix that. There we go. This guy is Vincent James of the Red Elephants. Red Elephant, whatever the fuck his name is. He is... I think he's purposely misleading and knows he can get away with it with his audience. It's almost like him and his audience are colluding to present false information because it makes them feel better about whatever circumstances that may happen. So if, it might feel good for them to say, oh, all Democrats support open borders. Like, that might feel good for them to say. But they only say it amongst themselves. So it doesn't really go anywhere outside of that. I mean, these ideas are already out there. He probably pulls in, new teenager audiences, every so often. But yeah, I think this guy lives in an echo chamber. And it's not it's not like furries, where it's some weird innocent thing happening. I think it's a little more pernicious. So we're going to check this out. Hopefully, actually, I hope you guys have never heard of this guy's channel, so that you can hear the shit he's going to say now. Here we go. Here's Vincent James talking about Ilhan Omar and Ocasio-Cortez are symptoms of a larger demographic problem. Demographic? What does he mean? Does he mean Democrats, right? Lefties. Lefties. Yeah. Let's hear it.
So a little while back, I'm sure you recall, Donald Trump tweeted about the 4 horsemen, or the squad, or whatever you want to call the group. He tweeted about the 4 Democratic congresswomen, the 4 progressive Democrat congresswomen, who came from shitholes, I guess is what he was trying to say, and who are now
shitholes like the Democratic Party. That's what he means. He means the Democratic Party. That's what he means by shitholes.
Constantly, relentlessly bashing America. And we understand what he's saying, right? I think the majority of the American people actually agree with what he's saying. The majority of American people, certainly according to most polls, if not all polls, certainly agree with the ICE raids that have been happening. The Democrats lost on that topic for sure. And I'm sure that the American citizens, most of the American citizens, agree with what Donald Trump is saying. And what he's saying is something that has been written on t-shirts for the longest time. Love it or leave it. Love it or leave it. And this is what Donald Trump was saying. And this is true, right? I mean, this is...
Well, what was the crowd saying, Vince? I don't think Trump's a racist, honestly. I don't think he's like a fervent racist. He might have some racial ideas, but I don't think he's racist in the way some people react to him. But he is a businessman, and he can take advantage of people who might be stereotypical racist. Well, I don't even like using the word, but Trump knows how to take advantage of them because they're usually ignoramuses. It's easy to trick them. So Trump just plays them, I think. Yeah, whatever you say, come vote for me. Whatever. So when they're chanting, send her back, yeah, he lets them do it. And a couple days later says, oh, I don't agree with that. Quietly. Or it's not heard so loudly. And that's when he scoops up the other side of his base. See, Trump's not racist. You're just orange man bad. Anyways.
This is what Tucker Carlson was talking about when he said that Ilhan Omar is the perfect example of how broken our immigration system is, because she came from a shithole. She came from a country that hasn't gotten better. No matter how many millions or billions of dollars that we throw at that country, it never has gotten better.
That's right. All that money that was strictly for food and water and, electricity and plumbing and all that shit. It was strictly for that. And we all know charity money, 100% of it goes to helping the people. It goes for the cause that they tell you it's for. That's what happens with all this charity. Red Cross, when Hurricane Katrina happened, you donated money. Or the hurricane in Haiti. Or hurricane, was it a hurricane? Whatever. The natural disaster in Haiti. When you donate, you texted some sort of number and it donate $5, for relief. All proceeds go to the people, 100% of it. None of it gets, spent somewhere else or taken or whatever. We know this. Vince knows this. That's why he's a great educator.
And it never will get better. It is a shithole run by very, very, very low IQ people.
Low IQ people. It makes sense, doesn't it? It makes complete sense. Like, where's Matt Hunter when you need him? It's just their IQ. That's all. That's the only contributing factor to all of this. How good are they in school? What'd you get on your SAT? That'll dictate where you'll be in the future. That'll dictate your success in life. It's like, fuck, that's robot talk. Let's be real. Propaganda says, she just said it goes beyond the leaked emails and is about the corruption rampant in Puerto Rico. But she never flipped on her stance that Puerto Rico should be a state that can vote. I like his red hat. Yeah, kind of derpy. Propaganda also says, yeah, Trump is a part of systemic racism. But I don't think he ever thinks he is better than a black person. He pretends to think he is better than everyone because his ego is broken and he is fragile. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's psychological disorders happening. Quite a bit. But probably on the scale of what we call an average person. If an average person traded places with Trump, they'd also be taking advantage of the amount of money they have. And if they wanted to be president, they'd find little loopholes to do things to get to win the presidency without hurting the brand too much. The brand is number one. Don't forget that. So yeah, Vince is one of those race and IQ guys. I happen to think Vince is pretty dumb himself, but, that's just vantage point. That's not genetics, as Vince is suggesting here. It's like, oh, I can see more of the landscape. That's why I know you should duck right now. I can see the bomb over there. There's the rocket being fired all the way over there. I can see it going across the landscape. But if you're there on the ground, you don't see the fucking rocket. You just say, yeah, vote Trump. Yeah, vote Hillary. Hey, guys, I can see how fucking stupid this is from over here. Come on, walk up the hill. You can see it clearly. That's for socialists. Socialists like hills. Don't go up them. Let's continue.
on average, and she has the nerve to come here and talk about how racist this
Also, it's average IQ. So that says nothing about Ilhan Omar and her academic skill or whatever.
country is, how hateful this country is, while people in her country are eating mud. Essentially, in Somalia, people are so hungry they're eating mud, literally, and garbage out of garbage cans.
And see, this is one of those things where I haven't researched it yet, but I bet if I do like 5-10 minutes of just digging, like, oh, what's the U.S. history in this country? It's like, it happens over and over again. Damn near every time these guys bring up shitty arguments like this. It's like, oh, it wasn't just, oh, they're just dumb, so they eat mud. Usually something else contributing to the problems in those countries. But, it's an easy out to just say, IQ, that's why. Hey, Stefan, why can't these black guys vote in South Africa? Well, they knew about IQ back then. So if you let them vote, they're going to vote for, eating shit patties every day. They're just going to squat on the ground, take a shit, and say, see, look, free food. Why do we need to grow anything or, raise animals or anything like that? Just take a shit, eat the shit, then you shit it out again. You're just having one source of food over and over again. You'll live forever. That's their argument. That's their fallback argument. Because you're making a video about people complaining about America, so you can't say anything bad about America in this video. At least nothing like that. Muay Thai says Trump. Ever go back and have some mud cookies? Propaganda. I love mud. My name is Mud. Interesting. And Muay Thai is just a troll, so don't worry about it. Let's continue.
And this is something I talked about for the longest time. It's like you have people who have never stepped foot in a third world country, don't even know what a third world country is like, and they have the nerve to bash America about how bad America is, how racist America is, how hateful America is, but they will never, ever, ever leave America because they know in the back of their mind, deep down in their hearts, that America is the greatest country in the world, and there are millions of people that are willing to risk their lives and are willing to sell their children to get to this country, and those are the people.
So you can notice he's, in a way conflating the arguments, because one is a moral argument about any type of corrupt shit America does, and the other one's like, well, we have PlayStation 4s here, so we're better. You'd rather live here than live over there. It's like, okay. I was making a moral statement about, corrupt actions that happen from this country's government. Stop changing the topic, bro. Would you rather live here or live over there? Don't you know your morality is based on how much stuff you own? God. How many TVs are in your kitchen? That's a good person right there. He has 4 of them. One for each member in the family. Muay Thai says, Jordan's getting triggered. Hey, bro, don't talk about my people like that. Do I look like I'm from Somalia? Come on, son. Think about it. That's like East African, son. I'm more West African. What's up? I don't even know, to be honest with you, but I may be. Who knows? Propaganda. America is the country. America is the country in the United States. It's the best country in the United States. Oh, gotcha. America is the best country in the United States. It's a good one. Let's continue.
People that we should not let in. 100% should not let in.
Oh, if you ever notice when you hear Vince step outside of his bubble to argue with someone, it's for something like gun control and things like that, rather than, actually it might just only be gun control. Does he have any other official debates? No, right? So, and if someone brings up all his racial shit, he's like, whoa, 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 whoa. I should play that clip for you today. I'll find that and play it. But let's continue here.
Because those are the people that are going to obviously cause a lot of problems on our society, become public charges. And this is what Donald Trump is talking about, right? I mean, when we talk about our immigration system, right? Even the New York Times recently admitted this in a recent piece that they did about European immigration, about the legal immigrants into Europe and how they're crashing all the heavy social safety nets that European countries like to give away. Right? This is one of the things that the left doesn't like to admit. It's like you have a massive influx of illegal and legal immigration into European countries. These are countries that are not socialist countries, right, that the left likes to give them, as great examples of how socialism works. They're not socialist countries. They just have heavy social...
Don't you love that one? They're not socialist countries. That's why they're successful, because they're not socialist countries. Okay, I just want to take Medicare and expand it to everyone. Clear the college debt. That's socialism, Bernie. We can't do that. It's like, well, what the fuck? Like I said, they'll shapeshift arguments to fit their narrative, and it works in their bubbles, but not really outside of it. Not when there's a competent person arguing against it. And I'm not saying I'm the competent one to do that. I'll go somewhere else if I had this guy in front of me. I'd say, fuck politics. We're going next level shit. But if like a Nico House or a Kyle Kalinske was talking to this dude about social policy, it'd be over for him. Probably relatively quickly. You can get out. Propaganda. The money is there. They cut even though we make trillions. Yeah, military budget always seems to go up. And no one complains about it. We need more F-35s. Isn't that thing like a piece of shit that doesn't work very well? Yes, but it makes these guys very rich. Keep spending that money. Let's continue.
Social safety nets, but the problem is that when you have an influx of people who become overwhelming public charges, those social safety nets eventually crash because your country becomes overpopulated, way overpopulated. And when we look at people like Ilhan Omar, who came from a shithole and is bashing this country, and we look at people on the left, all these...
He keeps saying that because that's some sort of moral criticism. Yeah. If a tornado comes by and knocks your house over, it's like, oh, you're immoral, aren't you? Go back to your shithole rubble. Go back to your rubble. Stop complaining. You suck because you're not rich. Horrible fucking person. Propaganda. Canada makes over $1 trillion a year and can't pay for pension plans. We just boosted our military by $54 billion. Or whatever money you guys use over there. Was it pucks? 54 billion pucks? 54 billion acres of maple trees. What's up, Linda Workman? How you doing? Propaganda. Yeah, the social safety net is crashed by the rich not paying taxes. Well, it's like that South Park episode where they play like the slow piano music. And it's about people using like Napster to download music. Like, who's going to pay for Britney's Golden Jet? Like that late night shit when there's like starving kids. They were doing it for celebrities because people were downloading music. It's like, Usher used to have 3 mansions. Now he only has 2. All right, continuing.
These Hollywood movie stars who are constantly bashing this country said they're going to move to some country if Donald Trump gets elected. They never moved, and they only pick white countries, by the way, which is another tidbit of information. Even black actors.
So that's another tidbit of information to remember. This guy thinks in race in general. What's the biggest issue, Vince? It's immigration. Why? Well, the white people, we're below birth rate, which means if this, if our population in America is growing and it's not us doing it, these immigrants, these brown people are going to come in here and they're going to vote Democrat every year. They're going to take over the country. It's genocide. Our culture. That's last resort. It's like, Vince, I statistically proved everything you said to be completely horseshit. But what about our culture? There'll be Chinese food restaurants all over the place. You'll see Taco Bells everywhere and soul food joints right outside my house. Guess who hangs out there? OJ? Let's continue. Oh, wait, I'll read some of these. Pucks as in hockey. I get it. Because propaganda's Canadian. Foreign bastard. OMG Napster. How did music survive? It's called They're Filthy Rich anyways. Filthy rich. Usually go broke from spending the money instead of, conserving it. But, propaganda in Somalia is fucked because of England and the USA have occupied them for 500 years. This red hat fuck probably doesn't even know the USA is at war with Somalia. No. He might not, he might bleep it out when he plays Wesley Clark talking about 7 countries in 5 years. And the name Somalia comes up. I think Somalia's on there. I believe it is. What is Canadian food, or what is American food? Fucking candy and chips. It's whatever we want it to be. We just steal from other people. That's right. Taco Bell, that's us. Pizza Hut, that's us. What's that shit called? That Panda. Chinese, like generic Chinese food. No. Let's just call it Kung Fu Panda. It's ours too. Lion King, us. Aladdin, us. Shit, we taking over Fairylands. Shrek, that's us. It's us now. Frozen. Wizard of Oz, all us. We own everything. You guys are just borrowing shit now. Hamburger. Hamburger and American freedom fries. That's what it is. All right, let's continue.
Picked white countries. Another tidbit of information that everyone is kind of overlooking here. I think that Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump are right about people like Ilhan Omar because they hate this country with a passion. They hate this country with a passion. They want to overturn this country, overthrow this country, and they're going to try as hard as they need to do something like that.
This is fear-mongering to his bubble, basically. They're here to take you over. How do you not see that? Yep, he said that shit out loud. That's their main goal. That's their only goal. Is take over the country. Like, What does he mean by that? What does he mean by they? Does he mean the leftists are coming here to take over the country? The Democrats, the progressives, the leftists are here to take over the country? Is that what he means? Or does he mean something else? I don't know. I might read that. I might reread or go through like a, just binge watch Vincent James shit, the Red Elephant shit. Just binge watch it. Then go read the New Zealand Manifesto. New Zealand Shooter Manifesto. It's like you might see some shit. That's like, some parallels there.
While they also came from shitholes like Ilhan Omar and went as far as marrying your brother to skirt immigration laws. So this is I think this is the
So I keep saying they, but Ilhan's the only one from out of country, born in another country. But, you know.
the funniest part of this. And you even have conservatives who are condemning Donald Trump's comments on these, right? You have the conservatives bashing Trump for his tweet on this. You have this whole House resolution. We have to condemn Trump's comments. You have GOP.
By the way, if this dude was offered a giant platform, he would turn it down. If CNN or MSNBC or Fox News like, Vincent James, your numbers are growing. You should come on to our show and just do like a 5-minute segment with us. He'd say no to keep Trump alive because he knows people don't like his shit. He has the anonymous faces hiding somewhere like, oh, look what I'm into, yeah. Buzzcut 347. Yeah, that's right. We need to get the brownies out of here. I will play that part of when he debated Destiny, and I hope actually he took it down. The live chat when they started fucking wrecking him for backing down. Like, Vince doesn't look happy.
Peers voting along with the Democrats and condemning Donald Trump's comments on this when they know that he's right? They know that he's right. They know that these people should be going back to their countries if they have the nerve to immigrate to this country, to America, and then bash this country relentlessly while waving their flag, raising up their flag, like the flag at Mexico, the Mexican flag at the ice. What was it, in Colorado, I believe, there was like an ice facility where they raised up the Mexican flag. These people...
You ever think people do that for, like, in their mind, solidarity? It's like, dude, we don't hate you because of this or anything like that. Like, we welcome you. We're going to wave your flag because everyone just get along. We'll all get along with each other. You raise an American flag, I'll raise a Mexican flag. It's like, solidarity, yeah. He thinks, oh, they want to destroy this country. They see the white man, they want to destroy it. That's how it's been throughout history. Meanwhile, Vince will never bring up the actual first immigrants across those borders down there. Coca-Cola, Pepsi, United Fruit Company. Yeah, those giant corporations setting up shop in other people's countries, controlling the territory, buying up most of the territory, and dictating their fucking politics. I'd say in concert with the U.S. government. Yet, not a fucking peep from Vince on that shit. It's all about the poor brown people walking across the border with their families. They're going to take over the country. They're going to come here with none of their money, and they're going to start picking fruit, and then sooner or later, boom, they own us. It's like, what? Linda Workman, nicotine, caffeine, fat, and sugar are my 4 food groups. Everything else is extra. That's right, good old American. That's the name of it, Panda Express. That's the, generic Chinese food chain. Hammerburger, not Hamburg, you Nazi. Says propaganda. When the workman says it is going to take a bit to catch up on the serious convo, I'll try to zip my lip until then. I'll say whatever you want. Just talking shit. Propaganda. How does one hate a country? I hate that landmass so bad That is a lie. She never married her brother. Obama isn't America. Isn't American. You dirty freak propaganda. I'm not reading that. Let those lips fly. Come on, son. Be respectful, propaganda. Lip off with James and he might come on air. Propaganda. I will break bread with the red hat fuck after I overthrow his beloved USA. You ain't overthrowing shit. We'll invade your border. Pause. That's right. Take all the maple syrup. All your natural resources will be gone. We'll cut down all your trees and take them back. Ship them back to the U.S. We'll kidnap Wayne Gretzky. Make him live in Milwaukee. That's right. Linda says, I used to work as a punch press operator at a place that always had American flag and Mexican flag raised, except the days when immigration came to check green card status, American flag only. Linda says, propaganda gave my lips wings. I can fly. Yay. Get a room, you two dirty freaks. I know, no freaky for the both of you. You meant it like that, propaganda. Stop lying. Ruben Garcia. Hey, I'm back. I had to do some errands. Welcome back, Ruben. Welcome back, Ruben. Propaganda. You're right, I'm not overthrowing shit. You were so racist towards Canada. I'm not racist. I'm xenophobic. You people scare me. Act all innocent and nice, and then boom, turn your back to them for 1 second. And there you go. There goes your culture. Right under your noses. I blame you for Molyneux. Laura Southern. Is it Laura or Lauren? Lauren Southern. Steven Crowder. All the MGTOW guys. Half of MGTOW is Canadian. Gavin McInnes. Vice. I blame you for Vice as well. Since I blame you for Vice, I might as well blame you for Tim Pool as well. So, my hatred it's righteous. Righteous hatred towards your country. Let's continue.
No, most of these people who do this stuff or who talk shit about America have never been to a third world country. Most of the left have never been to a third world country. Do you like your indoor plumbing, Mr. Lefty? Do you like your indoor plumbing? Yeah, because that's something that you really don't get in South America or Central America. I mean, you can't really flush your...
Now, I'm sure he's making that up. Also, once again, those aren't moral questions at all. If you criticize the country that claim we're the most moral country on the planet, but then you do other shit that we've gone over a bunch of times, it's like that's sort of the argument there. How come you don't address those, Vince? How come it's just if you're poor you suck? That sounds like Matt Hunter shit. Sounds like his argument. Very, very weak stuff. Justin Bieber. Yeah, you can keep him. You guys can keep him. Ruben Garcia says, it's Lauren Simonson. Whatever. Celine Dion, Drake, Avril Lavigne, Hasbro, all from Canada. Yeah, you guys can keep that shit. I don't know one right winger that has gone to Gaza as propaganda. Hasbro? No. Austin Powers. We're stealing that shit. Michael Myers is officially whatever. I call him by his tradition. He's American now. His name's Michael Myers. And he is now American. Unless it's corny. If he gets corny, he's going back. I know. Can't fuck with our serial killers. Our serial killers are international, son. Basketball, that's us, son. Alright, let's continue, I guess. I'll look for that other video while I'm at it.
Toilet paper down the toilet. Now, I'm sure probably in the more developed countries, right, where there's a ton of people of European descent, maybe the south of Brazil, maybe Chile, maybe Uruguay, maybe some other countries, maybe in South America, possibly, yes. Those tend to be completely, totally, utterly, almost European countries and more developed countries. But for the most part,
So, more European means better. Morally and, aesthetically and, socially. They're more developed because there's more Europeans there, which makes them morally better as well, because if you have, great plumbing, that means you're morally better, right? Simple logic, very simple. We get this. It makes sense. Surprised it's not written in the Constitution anywhere. It makes sense to me. It's the way the world should be.
Most of the third world, not really too much indoor plumbing going on there, Mr. Lefty. So for those of you who want to burn the American flag, I know a ton of people, a ton of family members and friends who live in places like South America, who live in places like Brazil, who live in places, even further south than that, who would love to come to America. We even have, I saw someone once with a tattoo that says "Born to be Free" with an American flag on their arm, who hasn't even stepped foot in America, but it's their dream to become American. It's their dream to come to America. Would never, ever think about bashing America like Ilhan Omar has been doing.
Like when she questioned Elliot Abrams about his, crimes in South America. Yeah, convicted criminal. So you just gotta let the past be the past and forget things like that, because then you'll be bashing America if you call it out. She should just shut up and say, please do whatever you want in South America. We accept you. Approved? Of course you're approved. Welcome. Welcome to the greatest country in the world where we don't question anything. If you do, you're a hater and should be sent back to wherever the fuck whatever shithole you came from. Let's see. Propaganda. We have John Ralston Saul. That's all we need. I don't know who that is. Do you? When you're getting stomped out by a bunch of low IQ blacks, try to check out what sneakers they're wearing. 100% American. We didn't do the labor at all, but, it's our brand. Linda Workman. I've been to shithole countries, and the people were cleaner and happier as a general group than I see here. Might be something to all the time saved by not having to double flush. He's making a moral argument out of, what your society looks like. It's like, look at this dirty Jesus guy. Is he even wearing shoes or sandals? This dirty motherfucker. Something must be wrong with him. Why isn't he trying to exploit everything he can to make as much money as possible? Ruben Garcia. Austin Powers, but the horror movie slasher instead of the comedian. Shrek, but also switch it with the horror icon. React to a Black Pigeon Speaks video. I think we have before, haven't we? Yeah. I think I sent him a video on Twitter of us, of our terms of service video. You know, that silly video we have. Propaganda, ha ha, double flush. Ruben Garcia, someone should tell Vincent James that a lot of the extreme right-wing people also hate the U.S. You can ask me why. Why is that? The alt-right, I mean. Israel, maybe? Our undying support for Israel. Propaganda, boys, the heat wave right now killed all my deck plants. It's getting cray. 30 degrees. I don't know what type of metric weird shit you guys use up there in Canada, but down here we keep it full on American. Feet and inches, motherfucker. 30 degrees means cold. Okay? Ruben Garcia, what is James doing anyways? What are you doing? He's playing video games. He's surfing. Surfing a wave. He's fanboying Tulsi by surfing. Damn right, Linda Workman. I hope you mean Celsius. Propaganda. Also, technically the U.S. is a third world nation. It reaches almost all the criteria. 30 degrees Celsius. That's like really hot for Edmonton. All I heard was blah, blah, not American. Means not as good. That means you hate freedom. Alright. Let's continue.
Let's see, of course. And I think that this is one of the things that Donald Trump is talking about. Another thing is that, like Tucker Carlson said, it's a proof that of how broken our immigration system is. And I think that this is definitely right. You look at Tucker Carlson, his statement on this, and then you look at most of the...
I bet Tucker didn't mean what you want him to mean, Vince. He'd probably like, I don't want nothing to do with that guy. I bet if I showed Tucker Carlson your content, he'd be like, oh, I don't want that guy around. I bet.
Immigrants coming into this country becoming public charges, this is something that is certainly an issue. And I think that even the New York Times admitted this recently in an editorial piece where they said that, where they talked about, and showed up on screen here if I can find it, they talked about the European immigration crisis and how all of these social safety nets are crashing. Now, before we get into Trump thanking Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for boosting the approval rating to 50% in his favorite poll, in his favorite Rasmussen poll, I want to thank this week's sponsor, Virtual Shield, and all living, including mine. I've been, as you can Apple.com at check has recently, this is out of the Daily Mail, thanked Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez for boosting his approval rating to 50% in his favorite Rasmussen poll as he hat tips vicious young socialist congresswomen and declares America will never buy your act.
See, that's how he has to debate Bernie Sanders, by not debating him. I don't know if you guys remember, I said like he should just avoid the debate, period. Just like, yeah, fuck it, I can't go. I'm sick. I have to run the country. I can't do this. Avoid that motherfucker, Bernie Sanders. Everything Bernie's doing is building up to debate Trump, to win against Trump, I think. So what Trump is probably going to try to do is paint whatever AOC and Elon, paint them as, oh, they're Bernie Sanders, basically. So I'm going to defeat them, and then you won't vote Bernie this time around. I don't think it'll work, but you got to do what you can, man. If you're a scrambler, that's what you do. Linda says, I am rolling cigs and going to play ESO, so I don't have political nightmares. ESO, what's that? I don't know. Propaganda. I love Tulsi. One day I will smell her hair next to Joe Biden. You play Skyrim. It's my fucking game, son. Elder Scrolls Online. Okay. Ruben Garcia. Apart from Israel, the alt-right hates the U.S. because they created diversity and bring up its Masonic origins and bring up petrodollar, the Ziokan wars, even though Europe and the rest of the developed world was also involved in one way or another. And as a last resort, even use the left-wing talking point about how America was founded on slavery and genocide crap. Really? I know they bring up, Ziokan, neocon shit. I haven't heard that one. That they hate America because it created diversity. He actually has a video that says diversity is bad. It's like, what? Even you guys, when you try to go the IQ route, you have to say on average. You can't just say all of them are like this. So I don't understand why these guys don't just say, oh, we'll take IQ brackets and everyone who's below this threshold can leave. You never go that route. I wonder why. Propaganda. The Trump supporters and the hard right hate fucker Tarleton. Fucker Tarleton. It's a new one. Maybe. See, I think Trump's been trying to run his campaign through Tucker Carlson because he's so popular. And he's sort of like, I take advice from Tucker Carlson. You guys like him, right? Yeah, he's the best. So if you notice, that Trump started going into all that shit about Ilhan Omar and whoever after Tucker Carlson made that video. It's like, oh, you run your campaign through this guy? What's up? Ruben Garcia, the hard right has mixed thoughts about Tucker Carlson. Yeah. Oh, if they could go full on their message, they'd throw him away in a second. But for now, they'll take him. Linda Workman, what happened to Yang? I didn't see him listed for next debate. No, he's there. He's on night 2 with Tulsi Gabbard and Kamala Harris, Joe Biden. It's weird, no? No, he is in them. Say what? Oh, yeah. Andrew Yang. Ruben says, the alt-right is constantly promoting MSM and alt-light pro-Israel right-wingers. They bring up the civil rights reforms as to how America destroyed the white race. Oh, so they're promoting Rebel Media, that Gavin McInnes shit, Lauren Southern, all that stuff. Propaganda. I watch a couple Yang fan channels. I mean, he's alright. But that foreign policy question on the debate stage, People were like, what the fuck was that? I was like, we told you motherfuckers when you were disliking our Yang video. Okay, good, says Linda. Ruben, Yang is still on the debate. It's Mike Gravel that got screwed. Yeah, once the next establishment goon that nobody knows about drops out, Gravel will get shafted again in favor of Seth Moulton. Probably. Right, that dude, Steve Bullock or whatever, made it somehow. Alright, you guys probably know the narrative that's going to continue from here. The demographic problem we're having here. It's like, what? They don't even stick to their own shit. If it's about IQ, why don't you just say that we'll keep the high IQ ones and get rid of the other ones? Like, why don't you say that? Well, my culture. It's like, oh, you have to fall back on that. So let's see if I can find this. I type in the red. The first thing that shows up is the Red Wedding from Game of Thrones. It's like, which one of you savages watched that like 80 times? It's like, fuck. What's his name? I think it's John Lott. Dr. John Lott leaves liberal streamer Destiny speechless in debate. Weren't you supposed to be debating him? Wasn't that supposed to be you debating him? Let's see if I can find this particular part.
We are live. I am here with two guests higher than all these other developed countries in the nation, in the world. And if you look at the gangs to people, 33,000 gangs here in this country. That's about somewhere around 10.1 per 100,000 gangs to people in this.
The problem
in
is
an ideal world. Sorry.
The problem is that
What's funny is every time Vince spoke up, that's when Destiny was like, hey, why do you do this on your channel and blah, blah, blah. He's just an instant shutdown and he goes back to staring at screens, pretending he's doing something. He's like, adults are talking. Chill out over there somewhere.
that the people who you're being protected from know that, okay? And so they look at you really carefully before they give you tenure. So if you have somebody who may have different political views, so like you look at law schools, sometimes
Going to come up with some arguments for what was said here today. I would assume so. Is there anything else that you guys want to add before we close this out?
well,
No, I think that's good. I appreciate
here's
it.
something, Steve, if you want to email me or something and want something to be
Can me and
clear
you
or
just
questions
talk
beforehand,
instead
I'm
of-
happy to try to respond to those too.
Yeah, I appreciate the conversation. And we'll have something set up in a few weeks for sure.
All right.
When will you be available, you said?
I'll be back from Germany, I think, on the 17th.
17th. Okay. We'll talk then.
All right. Yep.
All right.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Hey, John,
Okay.
if you could stay on real quick just for the end of this here, I'm just going to talk about your book. Where can everyone find your book? And I mentioned Amazon, and I don't know if that's where you
I wonder
want
if this guy edited.
Well, yeah, I guess I appreciate the conversation. It's been fun. I'll shoot Vince an email or whatever in a week, and we'll reschedule something for hopefully like 2 to 3 weeks from now after I've had time to like really chew through a lot of this.
Okay, well, have fun in Germany.
Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate it.
One thing I want to before you go, one thing I do want to ask you while he's here still is about the family structure, the fatherless homes going from 22% in the black community.
High when you look at firearm homicides is that you're simply. I mean, look, I agree. Drug gangs create an incentive, financial incentive for people to join them because it's illegal. It would affect their ability to go and get welfare payments. And that created. You look at law schools. Sometimes
60s to 70s, somewhere around 77% today. What is your prescription for helping that out. I think in all communities, actually, I think white Americans went from 5% in the 1950s and 60s to about almost a quarter, or I think it's actually closer to 30% today of fatherless homes. What's your prescription for fixing that?
Making cars. Would we want the government to be making computers?
Of gang.
God damn it. Can you try and find it for me on that? Sorry, guys. I'm trying to find this one part. That's hilarious. 40 something. Let me just try 40. Try 38. I probably wrote it down.
I don't really think it's very good, but there's slight imperfections that you might have inside the metal. The problem that you have with ballistic fingerprinting.
No, that's not. I picked the wrong video anyways, because I'm sure that guy cut any of that type of bullshit out. Vince has like 200 something thousand. He has a lot of subscribers. Let's try this shit.
We are live. I am here with two guests that are going to be debating guns and
Government is concerned, that's the same last name. And we could be that we.
Yeah, you just find it for me, so I don't have to play it out there. Vince has 286,000 subscribers. It's very popular.
Why don't you accept victory and move on?
Well, I accept everything John is telling me. My problem last time is you didn't understand the difference between, say, like a longitudinal study versus just like comparing random data. Like everything that you said last time showed like an inability to understand like any kind of data or information. Whereas John at least has this now.
I could have brought up the scientific studies that I brought up today. I was trying to.
Well, no, you couldn't.
When you're looking for is in there first.
No, it's when Lot was with them. It's when John Lott was with him.
54. Go to that. 54.
Alright, hold on. Linda Workman, because they would all need to pass the IQ test first. Yeah, I know. Ruben Garcia, Stefan Molyneux, Mike Cernovich, and similar videos. I watched a Red Ice TV Friday stream from either last week or a week before, and it was basically Henrik and Lana sucking Ben Garrison's cock for quite a while. The cartoonist guy. Couldn't get into the White House for that Alternative Media Summit, whatever the fuck it was. Independent Media Summit. Matt Hunter, I still remember when you said Joe Biden was done. Was I wrong about that? Propaganda, Joe Biden is done. Ruben Garcia, I meant similar people, not videos. The alt-right promotes people like the ones I brought up. Okay. Propaganda, he is HRC 2.0. Matt Hunter, 2020 polls. Joe Biden leads the field in every early state. No comment. Ruben Garcia, remind Matt Hunter that he was supporting Joe Biden during the Democratic debate night. Then remind him of what Biden said about white people. Linda Workman, I am not interested at all in Joe Biden. That makes me ignorant on his policies, but still I don't hear much, which is probably a bad sign. He has not been anywhere near the main stage until the debates, and he looked horrible. He got smushed on TV, on national TV. His only real national appearance. He didn't do any of the CNN town halls or MSNBC town halls or Fox News town halls. He didn't do any of them. So his first introduction to the main stage as a candidate for this this turns election, and he ate shit on live TV. Well, is my time up? Time's up? Ruben Garcia. So when is The Rock going to make it to the debate stage? He could probably make it anytime he wants to. That's the funny thing about it. Like Jimmy Dore could make the debate stage if he wanted to. Really could. Matt Hunter, what did Biden say about white people? Even after first debates, Joe Biden still holds a 20-point lead with black voters. And I believe it. It must be true. Linda Workman, I've seen memes of Biden sleeping and groping, and that's about it. I actually did a video on an article that said when you try to look for Joe Biden's website, the first thing that pops up is a parody website. It's just him touching people. Like his actual website came after the meme one, so it's like that one's getting way more traffic. Also, I think I did a video talking about everyone saying no Biden, no to Joe Biden, no, go away, no, all throughout his social media things. Not saying that constitutes everybody running or everybody who's going to vote, but also that's some of the polls where they oversample older people. That was happening as well. So I don't hear much about Biden, really. He's just there. And part of me thinks it's like some corporate Democrat plan to keep his name at the top so everyone just keeps focusing on him and shitting on him. Meanwhile, the real candidate they're going for is like going to sneak from behind. Maybe Warren, maybe Harris. I don't know. Linda says it must be true. Ruben Garcia, Biden wanted to out APAC Trump. Yeah. Matt Hunter, black voters are gravitating towards Biden. That's probably wrong. But, see what you want to say. Ruben Garcia, Matt Hunter supports racism against white people. Ooh. See if that hit a nerve or not. So that's Destiny's channel. 54 minutes. Yeah, I could still probably find it here. I'm trying to find this one part, guys, because it's kind of funny.
We are.
Just let it play for a minute. No. Either that or look around for more. What did Biden say about white people? I don't know. I think he said the future of this country is immigrant or something like that. Biden said something like that. It's the second one, dude. Because John Lott was there. Where he's like, it's like, well, a lot of this has to do with the war on drugs. It's like, Vince looks mad. Ruben Garcia, can any of you find the last scene at the end of the debate where Biden made those comments about white people? I don't want to look for it myself. uh, at the end of the debate? Let's see. It'll be a specific part. This might be it. Yeah. Nah, I think it was late in the fucking debate when they're like just about to leave. Just enjoying that shit. Alright. What was that? What number was it? Like 20? 24 minutes? That's fucking hilarious. Alright, I'll read some of these. uh,
29. Vincent's guest disrupts his thought. That's some bullshit.
29. I'm gonna read this. I thought it was at the end, says Ruben Garcia. Manhunter, so I asked for the third time, what did Biden say about white people? I don't know. Go look for it, Matt, and tell us all about it. Propaganda. I don't know the part. I didn't listen to the other candidates much. I was just waiting for Tulsi to speak and was only listening to audio. Okay. Ruben Garcia. Oh. Yeah, Biden was on the second night. Sorry, my time's up was the only thing I heard Biden say. Yeah, just looked awkward, sounded, it was like, you're done. It's over. Even the crowd was like, uh-oh. No. Linda Workman. Or do a quick search for I'm a Potato. I wound up singing that all day on Sunday. I'm a Potato? Propaganda. It stuck out so bad. I was like, did he just say his time was up? Yeah, that's fucking hilarious. Our reaction is probably somewhere. on the internet. All right, let's play this part right here. Hopefully this is it.
They would bring in the weapons that they would need to go and protect that valuable property that they have. They'd be bringing them in at the same time. You know, most people don't appreciate that a major source, probably the major source of illegal guns, are drug gangs. Drug dealers have guns with them. And so the notion that you can stop criminals from being able to go and get guns, you know, is going to be as likely as you can stop them from buying illegal drugs.
What would you do about the gangs? Because this is something that we determined in the last debate too. Is that, you know, most gun crime is caused by gangs, with mostly illegally possessed weapons.
Right.
What would you do about the gangs? Because, you know, just ending the war on drugs, I'm not sure that that's.
Well, if you end the war on drugs, then you remove a lot of the funding from the gangs, and a lot of the incentives they have to exist. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. Right. If you legalize them,
right. But there's the trafficking of the guns too, though.
Well, but you wouldn't need to traffic as many guns if you didn't have to defend corners to sell illegal drugs on, because you'd go to Walmart and buy them.
Exactly. You wouldn't. The gangs would not have the profits that they have. Young kids wouldn't be going into them, and they wouldn't have the reasons for having the guns. You have to deal with their profits and what determines profits. I mean, it's the same reason why when Prohibition ended, you had a 60% drop in murder rates in the United States.
Right. So I'm looking at the DOJ. There's a report by the Bureau of Justice that was brought up in the last debate as well, regarding the types of firearms, who gets the firearms, and it determined that 43% of crime guns in the United States was obtained illegally on the black market. So that's the largest portion of the crime guns in the United States were obtained illegally on the black market, mostly gang members. So, I mean,
I don't think they say mostly gang members in that study, but I agree with you.
No, not in the BJS study, no, but other studies I've seen have determined that gang members caused most of the gun crime, as you said.
Well, I mean, you just look at the distribution of murders in the United States. You have over half the murders in the United States take place in 2% of the counties. And if you've ever seen...
Well, that's really misleading, to be fair.
Well, let me finish, and maybe
Sure.
you can tell me why.
Okay.
And if you look at any...
This isn't specifically the part I was looking for. It's when, it's when Destiny calls me out for the thing. Yeah, that's what I was looking for.
I skipped towards an hour. Let's play it here.
Matt Hunter, new poll shows Joe Biden favored among blacks. Okay. Ruben Garcia, has Al Fraud Sharpton endorsed anyone yet? I don't know, and I don't care. I could probably pick the opposite of what he picks and be fine with it. Like, who didn't he pick? Propaganda. Who is debating? It sounds like Jordan Peterson. No, it's Vincent James. It's John Lott, Dr. John Lott, and Destiny. Don't. Be quieter. 106.
Just go to 1 minute. Oh, my bad. 1 hour.
I'll go to 106 because that's like when he's asking. I'll go 105, 35.
No, 106. 106.
Propaganda. What blacks, though? Half the country doesn't vote. I'm sure the youth vote. Probably going to Bernie. Maybe Kamala Harris. Biden? No fucking chance. It's going to have to be from people who no idea what's going on in the political arena right now. Ruben says, that's why I want to know. I too want to avoid whoever Sharpton supports. It's like, yeah, you just eliminate names based on what people pick who. Is there a dead black baby? I'm going right over there. Fucking shuffling over and shit. I got you. I found the part I was looking for. This is hilarious to me. All right, here we go.
You still create an illegal market.
Well, yeah,
there.
but I mean, ideally, like a large corporation, like theoretically, if because of economy of scale, right? Walmart should be able to produce drugs and pay some tax on it that should still be cheaper than what it would cost to illegally procure these, right?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've got a lot of stuff that I'd like to research and then return to if anybody has any final things to say. Yeah.
No, I just thank you both for taking the time. Do you want to schedule? You want to go through this data and maybe schedule something else for 2 or a couple weeks out? That'd be
Yeah,
perfect.
I mean, I'm headed to Germany in a couple days for a week, so I'll contact you when I get back, and then I'll set up another day and we can revisit the conversation.
So we've determined that more guns equals less crime.
No, he's determined that he's open-minded and willing to talk about it. That's what he's determined.
Wait,
Yeah,
I'm
definitely.
actually you know this.
And this is when Vince fucked up. He tried to get a little jab in before they ended the show. It's like, wait. I have another question I want to say. Here we go.
Sounds like I'm asking this mainly for Vince, and you don't have to answer it if you're not comfortable. I'm not trying to pigeonhole you into anything. Do you think that race has some intrinsic bearing on the proclivity of somebody to commit crime, or do you think that's a big thing that needs to be talked about more in the United States? Because I know Vince likes to talk about that a lot.
No, what I've mentioned before, and this is
What was John's answer to
left-leaning
that?
people. I'm answering your question. What is typical? What I've said before is that when I say gang members commit most of the gun crime, and then you say, "Oh, why do you show only black and Hispanic people in your videos about gangs?" It's not my fault, and I've explained this to you already, and you've accepted this explanation. I've said because the National Gang Center, the National Gang Center states that 46% of gang members are Hispanic and 45% are black or African American, and so it's not my fault that's
Sure. So in all of this conversation, something that John has never done, or I haven't heard him say this, maybe I missed it. John has never made an appeal to demographics, which you do constantly, and he hasn't shown me a graph of the percentage of people that are killed due to guns in some states next to the number of the percentage of white people there. I haven't heard John do that at all. You do this relentlessly, Vince. That's why I was just curious if John had a position. Or if you're not comfortable sharing, you don't have to either.
I mean, here's my view on the world, and that is we have a horrible public school system in these urban areas that I don't think does a very good job of educating young blacks and Hispanics who are there. And I think it reduces their returns for kind of legitimate, law-abiding activity, going and doing that. And at the same time, we have this drug war that we've talked about where it looks like people can go and make a fair amount of money in a relatively short time by engaging in illegal activity. And so I don't think there's anything inherent in terms of race and crime. I think it's a lot of bad things. I think we've had the destruction of the black family. If it were me, I would do things like have voucher systems to introduce competition in schools in these urban areas. There's no reason why these kids have to be locked into these horrible public schools that they're stuck with. Let them go to elite schools or something like that. A lot of these states, spend huge amounts of money.
Diversity is evil. Or what is it? What did they say? Diversity is a weakness or something. Vince literally just did a video on that, I believe. It's not a strength. I agree with you. It's a weakness. Now I don't agree with you. Pretty simple there.
Per pupil, but it's not really obvious to me that we're getting very much of a return. Do that in combination with reducing their incentives for being in gangs, which is some of the stuff that we've talked about before. And I think you'd see major changes that would be occurring.
I'm sure Destiny probably disagrees with you on the school voucher system, though.
I disagree on the prescription, but I think we agree on the problem. Yeah, I don't know if I
What
would
about
necessarily
the-
agree with vouchers, but providing better education to people would definitely help in a whole host of ways, especially with recidivism as horrible as it is in the United States, right? As soon as you enter the prison system, the likelihood of finding a job afterwards decreases, the likelihood of you maintaining stable family relationships decreases, more children born out of wedlock, a whole bunch of horrible shit happens as a result of that, yeah.
But in the education, I would just say, look, would we want the government to be making cars? Would we want the government to be making computers?
If they were good at it. If they were moral about it. Why not? They're just people anyways. See, people are too locked into that fucking idea. The government fucks up all this shit. What if there are good people there? I'm just saying.
Is there a lot of things that we would like the
competent
government
people.
think that they could do a better job producing than people who actually would have a financial incentive? To me, teachers should be paid based on how good of a job that they do teaching. They shouldn't be paid based on how many years they've been a teacher and whether they have certain credentials or not. I think the way the pay scales are set up to create incentives for teachers.
All right, I'll stop it there. Ruben Garcia, if you see the term left is best thrown around, it's either Majority Report fans or BreadTube fans. There is a big crossover audience with the Cedar Show and BreadTube. I will note that. The whole idea, it should just be the best ideas, period. What you doing, no hitter? But, yeah. Should be, best ideas, period. No matter what discipline they come from. Right? You should be pulling from more than left and right. You should be pulling from science, philosophy, psychology, blah, blah, blah. All of it. Arts. That's where you should be pulling ideas from. And that's what the government should be partaking in. We pull ideas, the best possible ideas we can find, present them to the whatever general public, and then they discuss it and talk about it and vote on it. Yeah, I just figured that out in like minutes. Whoa. Propaganda. If anyone ever says something is loved by blacks or any race, run the other way. Don't ever speak for a group of people. Agreed. It's about the individual, but too many collectivists around here. And I'm not talking about sports fans. I accept that collectivism. Matt Hunter, black kids are 10 times more likely than white kids to die from guns. If gun violence has everything to do with guns and nothing to do with race, why don't black and white children die from gun violence at around the same rates? I don't know. Huh? I'm sure there's a lot more factors than their skin color. I'm just saying. You've already heard Destiny and John Lott bringing those notions up of, war on drugs and things like that. John Lott also talked about the murder rate in, Prohibition? Those weren't black kids doing that shit. Right? But, whatever. There's a profit motive. That's the problem. That's one of the things to look at. But even the deeper problem than that would be conditioning. As in, I need to survive, so I need to do this, and blah, blah, blah. And then it's like, at a certain point, it's like, don't you have enough money from doing this already? Why are you still doing this? Oh, you're obsessed with power. Got it. Propaganda. Black or African American? What the fuck does that mean? I don't know. I just say, I'm Jordan. Hey, what's up? Ruben Garcia, I like how Destiny fans acknowledge that Destiny lost his debate against Ryan Dawson and still dismiss his views and arguments anyways. Yeah, because they're looking for the popcorn debate rather than the information debate. It's like, I'm looking for the most interesting, most correct information I can find instead of, this guy looked bad on TV. This guy looked bad on YouTube. Linda Workman says, intrinsic proclivity. I hate hearing words from academic journals used orally. Pause for you, ma'am. Yeah, I get it. I'm trying to be smart, so I speak really fast and blah, blah, blah. I use these words. I get it. It looks good on YouTube. Instead of, I really want you to understand what I'm saying, so it hits home. Propaganda. These kind of asshats never learn anything about the USA military being involved in drug dealing. We made Afghanistan's main export opium. Yeah. And here's the thing. Vince has been approached by that concept, and he apparently has neglected it. Yeah. Some dumb Black Lives Matter supporter, even though the guy says I voted Trump, on the video where Vince calls him a Black Lives Matter supporter. And he told him about the drug trade and CIA bringing drugs in. There's fucking TV shows about it now. And Vince is like, oh, I'll research it. And, nah, nothing. Didn't happen. Just gangs. Fucking dumbass. Propaganda. The government made the first computer. I want a government car. Is that Misty or Mexi-Canadian bread tube? What? And it's like that dude Sean. He just has the name Sean. Gets like hundreds of thousands of views every video. Randomly. Or ContraPoints. Ruben Garcia, I completely and entirely agree with you, Jordan. The stupid left-right paradigm is a joke. Yeah. See, I don't know about you, but I was lucky enough to get into conspiracy before I looked into politics. To where it's like, listen, guys, they're playing you for a fool. It's all a rigged game, and they do even if it doesn't have to be 100% correct either. As long as you're thinking like, is it possible these guys will say anything and screw me over it at the end of the day, or do whatever they'll say, whatever to get whatever they want? Is that a possibility? The more you look into it, like, yeah, that's a possibility. So I can't just accept whatever some politician says at face value. Like when I say I believe Bernie Sanders wants to do the right thing. He's trying to do the right thing by his own beliefs. I actually believe that. I did all the other work of looking into like all this corrupt policy or even though far out there conspiracy theories. I looked at a bunch of shit like that. So this isn't some, drone talking to you. Like, you trust Bernie no matter what because he said so. He said he's a good guy, so I trust him. Like a lot of these newfound Trump voters. I'm not an NPC. I'm voting Trump no matter what. And what the fuck does that make you? Seriously. Linda Workman, I agree with best ideas, but people will always disagree with what that means. Not always. We've all come to terms that killing is bad. Or killing is wrong, right? Maybe not entirely, but we've come to that conclusion of maliciously murdering someone is bad. Right? We seem to have come to that conclusion. Why can't we do that with other things? Propaganda. The government helped create jazz and modern music by having grants for musicians. I get you, but I don't know if that'll fly as an argument there. People would have never had the gear or gotten recorded without the government sparking a culture bomb. Maybe. I mean, I know Batman when that develop all that weaponry and shit and the Batmobile. If it wasn't for that R&D, portion of his corporation that had military contracts. So we can thank the U.S. government for the Dark Knight. Fuck. Linda Workman, what is the purpose of having a government? What purpose does each office serve within the government? Right now it seems like it's all for entertainment and steering of norms. Could be. Either, what's the word? Like, compartmentalized. Where one hand doesn't see what the other hand's doing type of thing. Where you lock people off in boxes and the military wing can't see what the bureaucrat's doing in the other office. So then, some dude walks out of the bureaucrat's office and says, we need to bomb Iraq because of this and this and this and American interests. And he's like, freedom and all that. Just trick the military guy who all he knows is bomb, kill, secure. And he's like, I'm with it. Let's do it. I'm exaggerating, but you get what I mean. Propaganda. Her content is empty, even though I agree with a lot of what they say. Who are you talking about specifically? Misty? Or Mexi-Canadian? I don't know her. Linda Workman, I'm reading a book by Glenn Cook. I think the title is Conspiracy, from the 80s, but mentions same stuff running around YouTube today. Even Donald Trump. Really? Wonder what it says about Trump. Was that housing thing, right? That, and Ruben will know about Sheldon Adelson. That shit Adam Green talks about. Where they bailed. No, it wasn't Adelson. It was someone else. They bailed Trump out from going broke or something like that. So now he owes them. Oh, my phone dying. Whatever. Ruben Garcia. I saw both conspiracies and politics at the same time. I always saw them both go hand in hand. Or I started seeing them, I meant. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't think I ever, even if I just found politics first, I don't think I'd ever be like, yeah, this is the thing I need to learn here. Like, I would have ended up going to conspiracy at some point anyways. So, it was actually Democracy Now! That got me into more of the mainstream. They're not mainstream, or at least they weren't at the time. They're not mainstream like that, but those mainstream type ideas that aren't, conspiracy written, because they had the loose change guys on. Democracy Now! Had the 9/11 loose change documentary filmmakers on their show to debate a guy from Popular Mechanics. I was like, oh, you guys will have this discussion on there? I'm watching you now. So I started learning more mainstream political stories through that. Linda Workman, killing is wrong, but war and self-defense is okay. And in some countries, honor killing is okay. So still no agreement. Yeah, but there's a concept about malicious murder, right? Even these creepy, corrupt governments anywhere around the world, they have to justify them killing people first, right? They have to tell their population, like, oh, these are bad guys that are coming to harm us. That gives us a reason to kill them. So there is some sort of standard being set. It's not just cavemen clubbing each other over the head with giant sticks or something, right? There's some sort of standard they're at least pretending to follow. So I think there can be an even higher standard, and then a higher one, and then a higher standard. Yes, up there. Ruben Garcia. I never watched her videos. I just know her from the people that affiliate with her. Her recent video about vegans looks interesting to me. And I'll check her out. Misty. Linda Workman says yes. Compartmentalization. I just fucked that word up. Whatever. Or I just said it really weird and slow. Each one only knows their own piece of a much bigger construct. Yeah. I definitely think that happens. Even if there's no like ringleader at the top of the fucking pyramid, it's just people naturally doing things. I think that happens regardless. Right? And you're like, I need to earn my paycheck, so I need to make this department very important. Thus, when I find a big story, I'm gonna, pass it on, pass the information on, and sort of like when I think like we've had certain technologies for a while. Let's say they just keep it out of market because they need to keep jobs around for something else. It's like, oh, we've been having robots that could fix this, but Bob will lose his job, so we need to keep the coal mine open. So Bob gets paid and will shut the fuck up and vote for me next year. I don't know. Ruben Garcia, Tom Cotton is one of the bomb guys. I forgot the obvious one, Bolton. Yeah. Where was that? Okay. Propaganda. They funded the music and movie industry like crazy. That's why Hollywood and American music is so famous worldwide. Canada did a similar version and still has a lesser version of music and film grants. Or we're just better than you. We're just better. We just buy up talent from all over the world. Come to America. We'll pay you more. Ruben Garcia. Didn't Ryan say that loose change is a government psyop? I don't know if he called him a psyop, but he called them fucking idiots. Called him a drug addict? Really? Didn't know that. But he definitely called those guys idiots. I don't know if he said it was a psyop. Maybe he called them like useful idiots. Like, oh, these guys will put this story out, become super popular, and the government can be like, yeah, let's hint at loose change, and then for all these people thinking it's a conspiracy, they'll eat that up and never get to the real answer. Not that I know the real answer. Propaganda. Creepy Russia and South Korea had a beef. What? Ruben Garcia. Is loose change with Judy Wood? Yeah, a lot of the more serious truthers have said a lot of things about her. And it's Mexi, not Misty. Okay, gotcha. Judy Wood was actually watched her. I've watched her full presentation on dustification. She's not loose change. Loose change was like, is that an airplane? It looks like a missile to me. Hitting the buildings. Judy Wood, I believe, is dustification, as in some sort of microwave from the sky hit the buildings and turned it like, look at the rubble as it's falling. See that? Now it's dust. Dustification. I admit it. It was fucking interesting. That's why I watched the whole thing. I was like, oh, I love shit like this. Linda Workman. Yes, there's a majority of agreement. However, propaganda can sway the standard. Genocides are usually started by dehumanizing labels, rats, pigs, vermin, etc. Yeah. But there's still that core thing, and I gotta fight for that core thing, which is oh, murder's bad. Thus, these assholes have to trick people into doing horrendous things. And I think at some point, at some core level, they even realize it. They're like, what the fuck have I done? And the psychological disorders and the trauma. Propaganda. They claim the Russians were in their airspace and fired warning shots. Mexi, like the Canadian sports grill. Is it a Foreman grill? I don't give a shit. Go away. That shit can go. I just shit on Canadians any chance I get. As soon as the Canadians take over YouTube, I'll be banned for life. Linda Workman, any kind of separating labels can be start of dehumanizing language, even Democrat or Republican. Yeah. I'm getting tired. I start cussing a lot or thinking too much. Sorry. Nothing wrong with that. They're both completely welcome here. Propaganda, new word, dustification. Go watch that presentation. I'm telling you, it was just thrilling for me to watch. It's like, whoa, what's this? And he show you video, super close-up video. It's like, look, solid, dust. Let me go back a frame. Solid, dust. Linda Workman, Worse Than War is probably one of the most eye-opening documentaries I've ever seen. Have I seen that? Typed on it? Yeah. Worse Than War doc. Propaganda. You're so right. Don't fear the other. Of the Twin Towers? Yeah, dustification of the towers. You should watch the Tulsi smear. Alright, let's check it out. That'll be the last thing, and then we are out of here.
What's driving?
I got it. What's worse than war? Nothing, that's what. There's things just as bad, I would say. Linda Workman, they interviewed some of the men who did the killing in Rwanda. Damn. I will be watching that. Type that shit in there. I hope it's on YouTube. Genocide, worse than war. Okay, I think it's on there. Rebel HQ, where the rebels hang out. We're so rebellious, we have to tell everyone that we're rebels. Propaganda, do you know what I love about vagina? Everything, that's what. Read the room, goddammit. Alright, let's play this Rebel HQ video. Yeah, I said I found this Rebel HQ video destroying Tulsi Gabbard. Let's go.
What's driving this is more than these leaked chats. It's really this long-standing corruption that people there have been suffering under, and that really came to light in the aftermath of Hurricane Maria.
That's Representative Tulsi Gabbard on The View today talking about her visit to Puerto Rico and to the front lines of the Puerto Rican protests. The estimated 1 million protesters today and the protesters from 7 days before are demanding that Governor Ricardo Rosselló step down after 900 pages of leaked chats showed him using homophobic and offensive slurs while also mocking people who died in Hurricane Maria. Rosselló has said he won't run for another term, but protesters want him out immediately. Between austerity measures imposed to alleviate a ballooning debt crisis and Hurricane Maria, which left an estimated 4,645 people dead, there's a feeling that the texts were simply the final straw for Puerto Rican citizens. And the word used over and over by Puerto Ricans is corruption, the same word that Representative Tulsi Gabbard used in that interview. But the very austerity measures put in place by President Obama's Promesa Act that were an integral part of worsening the effects of that corruption received a yes vote from Representative Tulsi Gabbard when it came to the House floor. Fellow presidential candidates Kirsten Gillibrand, Amy Klobuchar, and Michael Bennet joined her in the Senate on that vote, so not great company if you're running as a progressive. Promesa implemented harsh austerity measures to control spending to alleviate the island's over $70 billion debt, a debt that was largely created, though, by outdated tax incentives, Congress getting rid of Puerto Rico's ability to restructure their debt, and tax havens for big pharma that come from the U.S. And yes, some overspending and corruption in Puerto Rico, too. But the whole purpose of the Promesa Act...
Real quick, you protester people, you guys got... When I think of, like, a protest where it's like, this shit's gonna work straight up, it's a scene in Malcolm X. We have like all these dudes lined up in like these really nice suits, sort of militant looking style, just all of them disciplined, quiet, and just like standing there. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? And whatever happens then. I guess some guy got released from prison. Just them just standing there. And once they get their guy, they turn off and walk away. It's like, yeah, that's right, bitch. Didn't even have to say a fucking word. I don't know. Just the whole idea of being unified. Instead of like some people wearing clown outfits, dancing and shit. Other dudes and covering their face up and throwing bricks or whatever. Yeah. So it's like, don't you guys want to look like savages, man? But I think a lot of the meek, the innocent types are the ones that are very sensitive to things. And they're the ones who are out there protesting, like, they're fucking doing this. Oh my God. So they're a little more eccentric. Right? A little more flamboyant, expressive and shit. Right. But it's all good. Just remember if a guy's, if you're at a protest and someone's like, yeah, I agree with you guys. It's like, don't just accept them because they say that. That's why I'm like, you guys gotta become savages, man. Start recruiting some savages. Propaganda. Emma is so not a rebel. Tulsi is a bit of a rebel. Linda says, laughing my ass off. Prop bringing out the vag talk to lighten the room. So Canadian. Propaganda. She is reading too far into it. Tulsi was making it about Puerto Rico needing help. Another corrupt person will be installed again if you don't stop the corruption. Let's hear more.
To make sure the big banks got repaid. The austerity that Gabbard voted for ended up creating measures that didn't address the root of the problem: greed, wealth, and a colonialistic tax code that treats Puerto Rico as second-class citizens. No, austerity just hurt the poor and cut programs from them in service of bankers, which was only worsened, of course, by Hurricane Maria. Senators Bernie Sanders, Cory Booker, and Elizabeth Warren voted no on Promesa. Then Elizabeth Warren turned around with Bernie Sanders and introduced their own bill that would alleviate the debt and lift up the Puerto Rican people. Kirsten Gillibrand, despite voting for austerity measures, got on board as a co-sponsor for a predictably political presidential race-related reason. But Tulsi Gabbard didn't even do that. There were 19 House co-sponsors, and Gabbard was not one of them. She had a chance to rectify her mistake, to vote for a better bill that was better than the alternative of not passing anything, which is what she wrote about in her press release when she was explaining why she voted for austerity, but she decided not to. And yet, she's going on national television with no pushback from the journalists on this vote of hers to talk about her travels to Puerto Rico to attend the protests in which the Puerto Rican people are protesting
Oh, those aren't journalists, let's be real.
The very thing that she voted for once and refused to rectify a second time. Because, yes, the reason that Puerto Ricans are taking to the streets isn't just because of pages of offensive text. It's because of the conditions of austerity that have led them to this point. Because that's what the root of all of this is. The debt and the austerity. Since at least 2016, protests against U.S. austerity measures, which have seen significant cuts to education and healthcare, have taken place regularly, mobilizing thousands of people from diverse sectors of society. Which is why I find it deeply disingenuous and borderline offensive for a politician to go and march with the protesters who are fighting against the very colonialism and harmful austerity measures that that politician voted for a photo op. Because when the Puerto Rican people needed Tulsi Gabbard's vote, she was not there for them. And I'm disappointed that progressives who claim to care about votes and policy above all else are defending this.
So what's the problem? I know she has a history of smearing Tulsi Gabbard, but was there any like bullshit in that argument there? And I'm not saying like, I definitely think, me personally, my personal opinion, I think Tulsi would try to do the right thing. But if she did do that vote or whatever, fuck, I don't know enough about this fucking voting shit or their fucking HR 75. No sleeping with baby seals. Everything, that's what. The squad just voted for a bill to make it legal to spy on Chinese Americans. Really? So yeah, I'll have to look more into what that whole vote was about. Austerity or whatever. Propaganda says I gotta look up the vote year, but it's an old vote. Okay, I think I saw somewhere in the video. It showed an article or something, and it said like 2016. Yeah. Yeah, Tulsi explained why she voted for a Pro-Mesa Act. And that's in 2016. So maybe she's reaching to, I mean, it's sort of like the heel effect when you start, like you're known for getting shitted on for having this particular type of opinion. Hold on. And then you start getting more coverage for it. You start getting more attention for it. So you keep going back to, like, I should shit on Tulsi Gabbard. Bring it on, Tulsi fans. And I think she did some tweet like that. So, Panda the Panda. Pandering. Panda pandering. Texas governor signed stupid. Save Chick-fil-A surrounded by. The most intelligent, moral people on the planet, the U.S. government, fighting for our rights. Jesus comes back and says, my children, you should start over. Propaganda. And yeah, it was a bill to make some funding, to take some funding away from Puerto Rico. It's Puerto Rico, not Porto. How dare you? But Tulsi didn't vote in 2016. She said why she did it. Oh, what? And yeah, it was a bill to take some funding away from Puerto Rico. But Tulsi didn't vote in 2016. She said why she did it in 2016. Yeah, I know. But that gives you sort of a time frame. As in, it's earlier than June 10th, 2016. Propaganda. Look at the comments. Linda Workman. I feel like 80% of government and policy is a scam to get someone rich, and that someone isn't the average citizen. Agreed. They probably, the Bill Hicks, they pull him into a smoky room. I'm not saying they do the JFK thing where they show them angles that no one's seen before of the JFK assassination. But they probably pull him aside and say, listen, this is how the world works. There's not enough resources for everyone, so you have to keep this particular system going to where there's going to be have and have-nots. That's just the way it is. We'll never be able to feed everyone, okay? And they get them that way. Propaganda. Tulsi is still better than Warren. It pisses me off that she never says anything about Warren, who is cray. Tulsi gave up $500,000 when she hit $1 million. I trust that more than Warren. I like that more than maybe more than what Warren might do. I definitely like that more. I need a reason why she did it. That would help. But yeah, if she did it in the sense of, I don't need $1 million, that'd be fucking dope. I mean, if I believe she did that honestly, from the bottom of her heart, here's half my money. I don't need to be a millionaire. Here you go. I'd be like, I'd borderline campaign for you. Borderline. But I don't know her reasons for doing that. So, I mean, it's hard to already do it. Right? If I'm like, if you're going to pick someone on paper, looking at policy, that you might want to pick this one or look at this person. I guess that's quasi-campaigning. Good. Now criticize Warren for her pro-war voting record. I guess Bernie is the only progressive then. The roots of U.S. imperialism and colonialism are at the heart of this corruption. Warren is very pro-war. You do know this, right? Where's the video criticizing her on those pro-war votes? Just saying. Why is TYT attacking every progressive but treats Warren like with kid gloves? Do they not see the establishment is trying hard to prop up Warren to split the progressive vote? Fun fact, America bombed America in the 1950s when we bombed the small mountain towns of Jayua and Utuado in Puerto Rico to suppress the nationalists fighting for PR's independence, citizens of our country. Emma, where was the segment or video in 2016 of you criticizing Gabbard for voting for Promesca? That time you were a Gabbard fangirl and defended her for everything, good, both good and bad. But suddenly, after you and your organization get funded by individuals and groups who don't like Gabbard, you attack her, irrespective of whether she's doing good or bad. If you have a moral conscience, you would apologize for either what what you did in 2016 or what you're doing now. Because she cannot be an angel in 2016 and be a devil in 2019 for what she did in 2016. Shame on you. Propaganda. I can't remember Warren's net worth, but she is loaded. She said she did it because government shutdowns and people not getting paid. Okay. Okay. So it's solidarity, bro. Yeah, not good enough. Because there's people all over the country not getting shit. Are you going to cut your paycheck for that? Or is it when government guys are shut down? I don't know. I'm just saying. Right? Shouldn't the presidency be like the most torturous thing ever? To where it's like, fuck, I don't want to be president. To where it's like, only that motherfucker's like we got to do work here. Just constantly working. Life sucks. Just in the grind. Only news you get is the worst possible things happening because it's your job to try to look into them and fix them. You get paid nothing for it. You just get a place to live and food to eat. It's like, it should be scary to be president instead of some luxury job where you sit back and let your generals tell you what you should and shouldn't do. You just say yes or no. Yeah, golf. You can golf while you're president. Fuck out of here. Ruben Garcia. I forgot who that billionaire that Trump is beholden to was. There are so many of them that Trump is beholden to. Adam Green said, fuck, what's his name? The dude's like a treasury guy who told government workers to take out loans to feed themselves while there's a government shutdown. I forgot that guy's name. But he was the one who was like the financier helping Trump out in that whole shady business dealings. Ruben Garcia, what did TYT do this time? Talking about Rebel HQ. And Emma, I don't know how to say her name, Emma Vigilant, playing on sides after she started getting funding. That's what some people are saying. Propaganda, get her. Emma's digging up more old Tulsi votes. You know what James loves about the penis? Everything, that's what. Ooh. It's a strong diss, man. Pull that back a little bit. Propaganda, you know what he likes about the vagina? Nothing. That's what. I forgot it too. Fuck. Vigland. Viglin? Viglin? No, it can't be that. I thought it was Vigilant or Vigilant. Whatever. Ruben Garcia. Rebel HQ is TYT. I think her last name is pronounced Viglin. Got it. I just call her Emma Disneyland. I got you. Viglin. Got it. Alright, guys. That's going to be it for me. How long was this? 3-hour fucking stream. Damn. My glow-in-the-dark t-shirt. That's right. Running a race. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you like, if you haven't already. Donate. Devon's Journey to Recovery. GoFundMe link is down there. Description box. What happened? Is that Freedom Tunes guy? Siglin, she got smoker eyes. How dare you? Alright, guys. Peace out. Good night. Good night, Linda. Propaganda, Ruben, whoever else is there. Is that a Canadian shirt? Fuck no, it's not Canadian. It's probably made in China. And with all that said, oh yeah, donate. Please donate. Devon's Journey to Recovery. It's not for us, for someone else. Please donate. Devon's Journey to Recovery. And with all that said, give this video a thumbs down.
Say you wanna get in, and then you wanna get out. When you get the money to buy yourself a castle, how will you wear your leisure? You zipper back and front on the fence together. Weekends in leather, flip to the right and slip back to the left. For handshakes to the right.